Before the college entrance exam results were released, Lin Louie, the class beauty, posted a link in the class group chat for a 10-day, 9-night luxury cruise to Europe priced at 4,999 yuan. Finally free after 3 years of studying together. We should take an impromptu graduation trip to truly live up to our youth. This tour is such a great deal. Everyone should sign up together. Zhao Weiyang, the class sports monitor, and Lin Lu's biggest admirer, was the first to respond enthusiastically. Wow, such a great deal on a luxury tour. Definitely signing up. Everyone started signing up in the group chat one after another. I spoke up to stop them. I searched online, and a European cruise of the same duration would cost at least 30,000 to 50,000 yuan. Could there be something wrong with such a cheap price? Besides, it's almost time to submit our college applications. What if we lose signal at sea and miss the deadline? The classmates hesitated, and the class beauty left the group chat with a remark. Some people are such a buzzkill. The plan for a luxurious European trip was eventually dropped. Later, everyone submitted their college applications on time and prepared for university. I thought that was the end of the matter. Unexpectedly, before the semester started, everyone tricked me into going deep into the mountains under the pretense of a graduation camping dinner. And each of them hit me with a rock until I died. Could have gone on a luxury tour in Europe, but now we're stuck camping in the suburbs. All because of you. This kind of European luxury tour for less than 5,000 yuan won't come again in a lifetime. It's all your fault for making the class beauty upset. Now she's left the group. Happy now. You ruined the graduation trip. You made everyone leave with lasting regrets. You deserve to die. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day when the class beauty posted in the group chat about a 4,999 yuan 10-day 9-night luxury cruise to Europe. This time, I won't try to stop it. I want to see what exciting story this 4,999 yuan 10-day 9 luxury cruise to Europe will bring. 01. The WeChat class group chat had 99 plus unread messages. I tapped to open it. The latest message was an exquisite cruise ship promotional poster. The Azure Agency, a white luxury cruise ship, and the infinity pool on the deck reflecting the sky, emblazoned across the poster in gilded letters were the words Graduation Season Special. 10 days, 9 nights European luxury cruise, originally priced at 39,999, now only 49.99. Limited to 39 spots. The small text below read, registration closes at midnight tonight. No more chances if you miss it. The message came from Lin Louie, the class beauty. In the next second, Linless number 1 sycophant, Xiao Yang, popped up with a message, sending 3 wow emoticons in a row. This is too good to be true. Where did you find this treasure? Next was her little follower, Song Yao. Oh my god, 49994, 10 days in Europe, and it's a luxury cruise. Am I dreaming? Then came the class monitor, Lin Mingo. Whatever. Luoi posts must be reliable. I'm signing up. Registration started flooding in. I'm signing up. Count me in. I'm going to graduation trip must be arranged. I stared at the constantly scrolling screen, hatred boiling over. Memories from my previous life flooded in like water released from a dam in my previous life. When the group chat was at its most enthusiastic, I poured cold water on it. I checked, and generally a week-long trip to Europe costs at least 30,000. This one being so cheap seems a bit unusual. Moreover, the cruise ship is at sea, and college applications are about to be submitted. What if there's no signal or internet connection at sea, causing a delay in submitting the application? You can travel to Europe anytime. But if you miss the college entrance exam, it's all over. Those 3 hellish years were all for the sake of getting into a good university. Weren't they? The group fell silent after a while. Lin Lu vented 3 complaints in a row. Some people really know how to kill the mood. Kindness gets doubted, and I won't do it again. Who knows if someone is genuinely worried about the volunteer work, or just doesn't want to travel with everyone. Then left the group. The atmosphere was a bit awkward, and no one spoke again after that. Later I found out that they hadn't stopped talking. They just weren't speaking in this group anymore. They had created a new group without me. The European trip never happened. Everyone stayed home, filled out their college applications smoothly, and gradually received their admission letters, waiting for the start of the school year. I also received my admission letter. Peking University, the school I had always dreamed of attending. After that, they invited me to a remote mountain area under the guise of a graduation camping trip. At first, I thought the location was too remote and didn't want to go, but then I considered that it was our last gathering after graduation, and we would soon go our separate ways. Besides, I had been the one to spoil everyone's fun with the European trip. So I went, and then I died. They vented all their frustration about not being able to go on a luxury European cruise on me, each throwing a stone until I was dead. Now I watch the messages in the group chat keep scrolling, and someone is tagging me at Funing. Aren't you signing up? It's fine if you only care about studying usually, but you should relax after the exams. Right? Why isn't the top student saying anything? Playing it cool. It's a graduation trip, and you're not even joining. I look at these messages tagging me, and don't reply with a single word. After 10 minutes, the class beauty Lin Louis sent a new message. It seems our study committee member and top student doesn't care to join us for the graduation trip. Let's not force her then. The message ended with a pitiful-looking emoji. Xiaoyang replied instantly. Don't be sad. It's her loss if she doesn't go. Exactly. The top student looks down on us, ordinary students. The study committee member has always been quite aloof. What's so great about being good at studying? Who cares? One after another. The familiar pattern. In my previous life, before I left the group, she first set me up to be criticized, making everyone think I was a killjoy, suspicious, ungrateful, and disloyal to our classmates. This time, without me saying a word, she directly labeled me as aloof and disdainful of hanging out with us. Whatever they say about me doesn't matter anymore in this life, no matter what they say or do. I won't speak, won't comment. I'll just quietly wait for the scores, fill out my college applications, and wait for school to start. By the way, I'll watch a good show 02. The departure was scheduled for 3 days later, and the atmosphere in the group chat remained lively throughout those 3 days. Ling Loi was busy in the group collecting money, tallying information, and sending out reminders. Each message was accompanied by cute emojis with a gentle and considerate tone. Everyone, remember to bring your passports. I'm sure you all have them, right? If anyone doesn't, let me know in advance. Sunscreen is a must. The UV rays at sea are intense. I won't allow my darlings to get sunburned. I've already prepared seasickness medicine for everyone. Just come to me when the time comes. Xiaoyang replied instantly. Lui, you're too thoughtful. I feel like I'm already falling in love with this trip. Xiao chimed in. It's such a loss for our class that he isn't the class monitor. Exactly. She's more reliable than the teacher. You should become a tour guide in the future. We'll be the first to sign up. Lin Louis sent a shy emoji. Don't praise me too much. I just want everyone to be happy. Messages kept popping up one after another, so noisy that I eventually turned on Do Not Disturb mode, letting them pile up quietly in the message list. Occasionally, I'd open it to glance, like watching a performance that had nothing to do with me. On the day of departure, I was sitting in the library, flipping through a volunteer guide. The phone vibrated. It was CO's WeChat Moments, a 9-grid photo. At the Shanghai port, 39 people were huddled together, pulling matching suitcases, some holding selfie sticks, others making peace signs. In the background, a massive flight information screen displayed scrolling red letters reflected on the glass wall, creating a sense of bustling urban energy. Lin Louis stood in the center, wearing a floral dress, her long hair flowing over her shoulders, and a beige sun hat on her head. She tilted her head, leaning on a girl's shoulder, smiling sweetly. Caption: The best youth, the best people. We're going to conquer Europe. Thank you, dear Lin Louis, for the thoughtful arrangements. Happy graduation. Xiao Yang was the first to like it, commenting, following Louis is always the right move. I scrolled past without stopping. The next day, the photos in the circle of friends were even more stunning. The photo was taken on the deck of a cruise ship. An infinity pool reflected the blue sky with white lounge chairs lined up in a row accompanied by cocktail glasses garnished with lemon slices. Someone was leaning against the edge of the pool, making a heart shape toward the camera. In the distance, the line where the sea met the sky was an unreal shade of blue. Lin Louis posted a 9-grid collage with her solo photo in the center, standing by the railing at the ship's bow, her hair tousled by the sea breeze, her skirt billowing, her profile facing the camera, backlit. Her silhouette was as soft and beautiful as a movie poster. Caption: in the summer of 18. The sea breeze knows how happy we were. Below are dozens of comments. Fairies have worked hard coming down to earth. This one is just too beautiful. I declare this is the most beautiful graduation photo of the year. She replied underneath, the best decision I've ever made in my life was joining Lu Yi's group. Lin Louis replied to her, with you all around, wherever we go, we're happy. I put down my phone and continued reading. On the third day, the social media feed was still flooded. Xiao Yang posted a series of photos from a pool party, everyone in swimsuits going wild on the deck, some getting thrown into the pool, splashing water everywhere. He captioned it, "This is what youth should look like." Class monitor Mingo shared a photo of the restaurant, a long buffet table piled high with lobster, oysters, and steaks. He wrote, $49.99 was worth every penny. Guys, Sona posted a photo of the sunset, the sky ablaze in orange, red, the cruise ship's shadow stretching long. She wrote, I wish time could just stop right here. Then came Lin Louis' video. She held up her phone, spinning around on the deck, capturing everyone in the frame. Laughter, screams, and cheers blended together. At the end of the video, she turned the camera toward herself and winked. I'm so reluctant to leave everyone. Her voice was soft with a hint of coquettishness at the end. This might be the last time we're all together. We'll go our separate ways. And I don't know when we'll meet again. She paused, her eyes slightly reined. I love you all. I really do. I'm truly so reluctant to part. The video ended. The comments below were all along the lines of, don't cry. We love you, too. And forever good friends. Someone even mentioned me. Fanging must be regretting this so much. Haha. Let her pretend to be high and mighty. No one replied to this comment. I looked at the screen and turned off WeChat. The sunlight outside was bright. The library's air conditioning was set quite low, with cool air blowing down from the vents above. The college application guide in front of me was open to the detailed introduction of the law major. The fourth day, my social media feed was quiet, an eerie silence. No one posted a new update. No one shared a photo. No one uploaded a video. Xiaoyang's latest post was still from last night's pool party. Song Yao's most recent post remained the sunset from the day before yesterday. Under Lin Louis' 9-grid photo, comments began to appear. What did you guys do today? Why aren't you posting on Moments? Noti plays. The fifth day. Still nothing. The class group chat has also fallen silent. Previously, there would be people sharing photos and videos in the group every day. But now, the last message is still the one Xiao Yang sent 2 days ago. Wow, the cruise ship is so luxurious. This trip is totally worth it. Over the past 2 days, only a few classmates who didn't manage to secure a spot in the registration have occasionally popped up. They must be having too much fun to even check their phones. Wi-Fi on. The cruise ship is probably expensive. Maybe they can't afford it. Or maybe there's no signal at sea sometimes. Day 6. The day of the college entrance exam score release. 03 on the day of the results. I woke up very early. I woke up before 5. Not because I was nervous. I already knew the score. The scene of checking the results in my previous life was still vivid in my mind. The top 50 in the province. And my homeroom teacher's voice trembling when he called. This time I was just waiting for that familiar phone call. At 6:30, my phone rang. The phone number of homeroom teacher Ms. Wang Funing. Her voice was indeed trembling. Have you checked your score yet? Not yet. Ms. Wang. Your provincial ranking. She took a deep breath. 47th. It was a bit worse than I had expected. But it was enough. Congratulations. Peking University is a sure bet. No. Tsinghua is also within reach. Which one do you want to apply to? Peking University Law School. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line. And then a mess. Wang's voice grew even more excited. Great. Great. That's wonderful. You are the most promising student I've ever taught. After hanging up, I sat on the edge of the bed, watching the sky outside gradually brighten. Just after the summer solstice, the sky brightens early. The breakfast stalls downstairs are already steaming. The scent of fried dough sticks drifting upward. Some are walking their dogs. Others are out for a morning run. The world continues as usual. The phone vibrated. A message appears in the class group chat. Scores are out. Scores are out. How did everyone do? The message comes from a classmate who didn't go on the trip named Suan. She has a low profile in class, wears thick glasses, sits in the second to last row, and rarely speaks. Her name wasn't on the trip sign-up list either. Several other classmates who didn't go, either due to family matters or because they missed out on the limited spots, begin to chime in one after another. Not bad. 20 points higher than expected. I bombed Waterloo. My math crashed. What about you? Annan. Sue Annan replied. It's okay. I can get into a 2011 university. Then someone mentioned, I wonder if those who went out to have fun have checked their scores. Not sure. There's been no news these past few days. They're probably partying at sea, and too busy to reply. I put down my phone, opened the college application page on my computer, and carefully filled out my choices according to my plan. After I finished filling out my applications, my mom suddenly came in and asked me, did all your classmates go out to have fun? The parents' group chat is going crazy right now. Many parents can't reach their kids, saying their class organized a trip, and they've lost contact. Yes, they went on a luxury tour to Europe. Why didn't I hear you mention it? Why didn't you go with them? Oh, I didn't want to go. It didn't seem reliable to me. A 10-day, 9-night luxury cruise in Europe for only 4,999 yuan. Mom, do you think that sounds reliable? Since I didn't plan on going, I didn't mention it. That does seem a bit too cheap. But why did so many classmates go? Why didn't the other parents suspect anything? I don't know. I guess the classmates might not have told the whole truth. Whatever. I didn't want to take the risk. I just wanted to stay home, fill out my applications peacefully, not let down my hard work, and not disappoint your expectations. When my mom heard this, her eyes instantly re-beamed. She patted my hair and said, You're such a good daughter. I must have done a lot of good deeds and accumulated a lot of merit in my past life to have a daughter like you. I smiled sweetly and said, Mom, let me see your phone. I want to see what the parents' group chat is saying since I'd already filled out my applications. I had nothing better to do. It wouldn't hurt to catch up on the gossip and see what was going on. Don't blame me for having no compassion. When my classmates were dying, I wasn't even thinking about watching the drama. In my previous life, when they crushed me to death, no one pitied or sympathized with me either. I picked up my mom's phone and opened the class parent group chat, scrolling upward continuously. The earliest message was from Xiao Yang's mother, posted right after the scores were released at Linla's mom. Has your Lin Louis checked her scores yet? Why can't I get through to my Yang's phone? He's not replying to my WeChat messages either. Lin Louis's mom quickly replied, We can't reach Louis either. Maybe the signal is bad at sea sometimes. It's been days already. No matter how luxurious the cruise ship is, it can't stay without signal forever. The kids are probably having too much fun and forgot about time. Don't worry. How can I not worry? The college application process starts today. It closes in 2 days. Song Yao's mom chimed in. Yao can't be reached either. We haven't heard from her in 3 days. Her dad and I haven't slept a wink. Everyone calm down. Linux mom sent a voice message. Her voice calm and composed. Before Louis left, she told me the Wi-Fi on the cruise ship is charged by the hour. It's very expensive. The kids probably didn't want to pay for it. Also, the signal at sea is indeed unstable. Worrying at home won't help. Then what should we do? Just wait. We need to fill out the applications now. What if we miss the deadline? Exactly. College applications are a big deal. I'm going crazy with worry. I've already left a message for Louis, telling her to contact us as soon as she sees it. She's always obedient and sensible. She'll definitely reply. The group chat fell silent for a few minutes. Then Sue Annan's mother timidly sent a message. Parents, don't you think the price of that tour group is a bit suspicious? What do you mean? A 10-day, 9 luxury tour in Europe on a cruise ship, only 4,999 yuan. Doesn't that seem too cheap? What the? Total price is only 4,999 yuan. I thought it was, because of a special summer discount. So, it was discounted by 90%. I was a bit suspicious, too. But the kids said it was a class-organized graduation trip, so I didn't think much of it. Turns out it wasn't organized by the class. I thought it was class-organized, too. At Lin Louie's mom. What's going on? Wasn't it your child who organized it? What's actually happening? The group chat exploded. The closer people got to the truth, the more shocked, panicked, and frightened they became. Then Li Mingo's mother sent a message. I reported it to the police. 04 half a month later. The case was solved. The message is a local news push notification. I was sitting on the couch eating watermelon when my phone suddenly popped up with a notification. The news headline was very long. Written in bold. Police crack major Prosper pyramid scheme fraud case. 39 recent high school graduates rescued. Below it was a photo. The photo captures the interior of a factory building with dusty concrete walls and iron-framed beds arranged in 2 rows covered with thin bedding. Empty lunchboxes and plastic water bottles are piled on the floor, and a few worn-out suitcases sit in the corner. The lens captures the backs of several people dressed in wrinkled clothes, their heads bowed, their faces unclear. I recognized Xiang's figure. His posture while running on the basketball court used to be quite distinctive, with his shoulders slightly tilted to the right. This back view is a far cry from the one on the basketball court. He has lost a lot of weight. His back is hunched as if someone had pulled out his bones. The news report was written with restraint. According to the police, the gang lured students to sign up by posting low-cost travel information online under the guise of a luxury European cruise graduation trip. After arriving at the designated meeting point, the victims were taken to an abandoned factory in the southwest border area where their mobile phones and other communication devices were confiscated. They were then forced to undergo training which included sales techniques and methods for recruiting others. Those who did not cooperate were punished with beatings and starvation. The police stated that the gang is also suspected of selling some disobedient victims to criminal organizations such as Southeast Asian telecom fraud groups. The relevant leads are currently under further investigation, said the police. After investigation, it was found that the gang recruited customers through campus agents offering commissions based on the number of people recruited. In this case, several students currently enrolled in schools served as underground agents, and the relevant individuals have been taken into custody. I put down my phone. The cicadas outside were chirping loudly. The August afternoon was so hot it was hard to breathe. The air conditioner hummed, and the cold air blew onto my knees. The watermelon juice on the coffee table flowed down the edge of the plate, forming a small red puddle on the glass surface. Lin Luje was also arrested, but she wasn't a victim. I knew a little more than the news did. That night, Sue Annan sent me a long message. Swaying. Did you hear? They've been rescued. I heard. I saw the news. It was terrifying. They were locked up in a factory at the border, beaten, and verbally abused every day, forced to memorize MLM slogans. And if they didn't obey, they weren't given food. Did you know Xiao Yang tried to escape? And, when he was caught, they broke 3 of his fingers. Class representative Xiao had a fever of 40 degrees, and they didn't give her medicine. She almost died. Class monitor Li Mingo lost 30 pounds, and some say several girls were taken away. No one knows where they went, and they still haven't been found. I stared silently at the screen, watching message after message pop up. Sue Onren was still typing. Swaying. What's wrong? Did you know something back then? I looked at the message and didn't reply. Sue Onren waited a few minutes and sent another message. I won't tell anyone. I'm just a little scared. I almost signed up back then. 2. Why didn't you sign up? Because I didn't have money. My mom said it was too expensive and wouldn't let me go. Then you were pretty lucky. She sent a rice smile emoji. Yeah, being poor saved my life. I put my phone aside and continued eating watermelon. 05, 3 days later, they returned. I saw the scene of their return in a video Sue Ann sent me. She secretly filmed it at the school gate. The footage was blurry and shaky. The bus stopped at the entrance, its blue body covered in mud splatters. When the door opened, the first to step off was Lee Mingo. I almost didn't recognize him. He used to weigh 180 pounds with a round face and a constant cheerful smile. Now his cheeks were sunken, his cheekbones prominent, and his eyes deeply set as if he were a different person. Then came Song Yao. She was wrapped in a boy's coat, her hair cut short, and her expression was blank. Xiao Yang was the last to come down. His right hand was wrapped in gauze and hung around his neck. He stood at the car door, squinting at the sun as if he hadn't seen sunlight in a long time. Some parents rushed forward, hugging their children and crying. Someone collapsed onto the ground. Someone stood motionless, eyes vacant like a shell emptied of its soul. A crowd gathered at the school gate. Parents, reporters, and curious onlookers. Lin Lui finally appeared. She stepped out of a police car flanked by 2 female officers. She wore a crumpled t-shirt and sweatpants, her hair tied back messily, no makeup on her face. Looking exhausted and disheveled, she kept her head down. Walking slowly, someone shouted at her. "It's her. She's the one who organized it." Then the situation spiraled out of control. Several parents rushed forward, but were blocked by police. Some were crying, some were cursing, and others threw mineral water bottles. The bottles hit the ground, bounced, and landed near Lin Lui's feet. She didn't pull away. She didn't even look up. The video cuts off here. Sue Annan later sent another message, swaying. "Do you think she might really not know? What do you think?" "I don't know. She looks so pitiful. She looks so pitiful." I stared at these words, recalling the scene from my previous life just before I died under the moonlight. She crouched in front of me, leaned close to my ear, and whispered in a voice only I could hear. "Did you know? For every person who signed up for that group, I could get a 1,000 yuan commission. But you ruined it later, blocking someone's path to wealth. You deserve to die." Her eyes curved, and the corners of her mouth lifted as if sharing an interesting little secret. 06 that night, the class group chat came back to life, because everyone started to settle accounts. The first one to fire was Song Yao. She sent a voice message, her voice beyond recognition, as if she had cried her throat raw. "Lan Lui, come out." No one replied. She sent another message. "Where were you when we were being beaten and cursed at every day in that godforsaken place? Were you drinking tea and chatting with those pyramid scheme leaders? I heard from the police. You weren't a victim at all. You were their campus agent, and you took a commission. We were all tricked by you. We were your classmates, and we trusted you so much before. Defended you. Did a dog eat your conscience?" Then the group chat exploded. "What commission?" Song Yao explained clearly. "Did Lin Lui take money? Did she trick us for money?" Xiaoyang sent a text message with several typos as if his hands were shaking. "Xiao, don't talk nonsense. Lui was arrested, too. And she also missed filling out her college applications. She's a victim just like us." "Victim my ass." Xiao cursed back directly. "Xiaoyang, did you know in advance that she was getting a commission? Did you help her recruit people? How much money did you get? Wasn't it you who kept urging everyone to sign up?" Xiaoyang frantically typed. I didn't know it was a pyramid scheme. I just thought that since Lin Lui recommended it, it must be fine. So, I said a few words to help her. She told me it was a legitimate company's commission. I thought it was a normal rebate from the travel agency to its agents. How many people did you help her recruit? I didn't recruit anyone. I just responded in the group chat. Just responded. You were the first to sign up. If you hadn't taken the lead, how would so many people have followed? Xiao Yang, you simp. You screwed us all over just to please Lin Lui. Xia Yang, you're such a S that you got sold, and still helped count the money. Right? Do you know what I saw at the police station? What chat logs? Lin Lui's chat logs with the pyramid scheme leader. She sent a picture. The picture was blurry, taken with a phone of another phone screen. But the text was clear. Someone with the note, Brother Zhang, sent a message. How's the quality of this batch of students? Lin Lui replied, pretty good. 39 people, all just graduated from high school. Obedient, easy to manage. All right, same as usual. 800 per head for you. Brother Jang, can you give a bit more this time? There are quite a few people. I put in a lot of effort. Then make it 1,000. I'll transfer it to you after it's done. But you have to make sure these people don't cause trouble. Don't worry. They're all my classmates. Easy to talk to. They're all your classmates. And you're still this ruthless. Once they're on board, they won't be able to fill out their college applications. You're okay with that? Lin Louis sent a smirking emoji, then said, "If a man does not look out for himself, heaven and earth will destroy him." The release of this image completely ignited everyone's fury. Lin Louis, come out. 39 people. 1,000 yuan each. You took nearly 40,000 yuan from us. You sold us for 40,000 yuan. We considered you our best friend. And you treated us as just numbers. Do you know Song-a almost died? You took the money. And just let her die. I missed my college application. My whole life is ruined. I hate you so much. Then everyone tagged Lin Louis. Tagged again. And again. No one came out. Lina's profile picture was gray. As quiet as her name. After nearly an hour, CO sent another message. Lin Louis, you don't have to pretend to be dead. I know you're watching. I saw it with my own eyes. When the police returned your phone. You're not going to say anything now, right? Fine. I'll let everyone see what kind of person you really are. She sent another screenshot. This time it was a chat record between Lin Louis and someone else. The timestamp showed 3 days before the trip. Louis, didn't you say this was a travel group? Why does it sound a bit like a pyramid scheme? You're overthinking it. This is just a startup project. And the company is legitimate. But I saw online that. Do you believe what's online or me? I've invested a lot of money in this. And I definitely wouldn't trick you guys. Besides, haven't you always wanted to buy that bag? Work with me. And the commissions you earn will be enough to buy 10 of them. Really? Of course it's true. But don't tell anyone about the commissions, or else everyone will come asking me for a share. And it'll be hard to distribute. Got it. Got it. You're the best. Xiao Yang finally couldn't hold back anymore. And shouted in the group chat. Lin Luo, damn you. I was really blind. 07, a long time passed. And Lin Luo's profile picture lit up. She sent a voice message. I tapped to listen. It was crying. A 60-second voice recording entirely filled with sobs from beginning to end. The kind of crying where breaths come in gasps. The voice trembling like a wounded little animal wailing in pain. I really didn't know. I was also deceived. They told me it was just a regular tour group. The voice stuttered, choked with sobs. I just wanted to make everyone's graduation trip a little more enjoyable. I didn't mean to harm you all. How could I possibly have intentionally hurt you? You're my best friends. For the past half month, I've been more scared than any of you. They hit me, cursed at me, and didn't even give me food. I'm a victim, too. If you want to blame me, just blame me then. It's all my fault. Fine. It's all my fault. The crying grew louder, and the last few words were almost shouted. Then Xiao Yang's heart softened. Truly, a simp never changes his nature. Louis, don't cry. Let's talk this through properly. Were you really tricked by them? As soon as this message was sent, Songya's counterattack came, her voice sharp with a tone of frustration. Xiao Yang, are you __ insane? You believe her just because she says a few nice words. You feel sorry for her just because she cries. Where was your sympathy when I almost died there? Yao, that's not what I meant. Not what you meant. CO, cut him off. Take a good look at those chat records. Black and white. She said it herself. If you don't look out for yourself, heaven and earth will destroy you. She said it herself. My classmates are all easy to talk to if she was really coerced. Could she have __ laughed like that? She sent several voice messages in a row, each more agitated than the last, until her voice was completely hoarse, as if she were roaring. Do you know how I've spent the past half month? Do you know what she said when she saw me running a high fever? She said, you people have such weak willpower. You can't even bear this little hardship and still want to make money. Xiao Yang. Do you know what was going through my mind at that moment? She paused, her voice suddenly dropping, so low it was almost inaudible. I was thinking about that winter during my senior year of high school, when she had a cold, and I brought her a box of 999 She said back then. Yeah, you're the best. We'll be good sisters for life. Then she traded me for a 000 yuan. My future. My life. Worth only 1,000 yuan. Xiao Yang. Do you still want to say she's pitiful? Do you still want to speak up for her? Xiao Yang fell silent. After a long time, he sent a short text message. I was blinded by obsession. 08. Early the next morning, the class group chat became active again, because someone had posted something new. It was a screenshot of a chat record from the parents group, posted by Lin Louie's mother. In the screenshot, Lin Louie's mother posted a long message in the parents group. Hello everyone. I'm Lin Louie's mother. I'm also deeply distressed about what happened these past few days. Our Louie is also a victim. She was deceived, and even beaten, and she still has nightmares every night. I hope you can understand. She's just a young adult who made a mistake. Because she's too innocent and trusting, we're willing to apologize and compensate. Please give our family a chance. Below it, Sio's mother replied, I don't want your money. Your daughter almost killed my daughter. I'm not even holding you accountable, just because of the kids. If apologies worked, what would we need the police for? Sue Annan posted the screenshot in the class group, adding a caption. Her mom is playing the victim in the parents group. Then the group chat exploded again. Victim? How dare her mother call her a victim? When she was taking her commission, why didn't she say she was a victim? Still dreaming. I think she's dreaming about counting money. Lai Mingo sent a message. His voice heavy, sounding like he hadn't slept well for days. His throat rough as if filled with sand. Lan Lui, your mother said she's willing to compensate. Then what will you compensate me with? I could have gone to Shanghai Shaoan University. My parents calculated it. My score was just enough. But now I haven't even filled out my college application. Will you compensate me with a Shanghai Shaoan University? CO followed up saying, I could have gone to Central South University of Economics and Law, the school I've dreamed of for years. Now it's all ruined. My parents' hair has turned half white. What are you going to compensate me with? What can you possibly give me? Xi Yang sent a message. Not only did I not get to go to college, my parents are also getting a divorce. My parents are getting a divorce. My dad said my head is full of mush that I'd be sold, and still help count the money. My mom said I'm grown up, and still lack basic judgment. What can I possibly expect in the future? They're blaming each other. One saying my mom didn't raise me right. The other saying my dad didn't discipline me properly. They even fought last night. When I pulled them apart, my dad slapped me. He unusually didn't mention Lin Louie as if talking to the air. Louie, do you know? I used to think you were the most beautiful girl in the world. I believed everything you said. Gave you whatever you wanted. I thought that was love, but now I finally understand. You don't see me at all. All you see is money in your eyes. I'm just a number. A head count. 1,000 yuan. Then someone ended the group chat with one sentence. We're done. It's all over. 3 years of hard work are completely wasted. We won't get into any universities. Our lives are ruined. So regretful. If only I hadn't gone in the first place. The group fell silent for a long time. No one knew what to say. Because everyone regrets it. Unfortunately, there's no remedy for regret in this world 09. 1 week before school started, I was added to a new group called Senior Year 3 Class 9 Memory Book. The group owner was Sue Onren. She said in the group, we're about to go our separate ways. So, let's create a group to keep some memories. The previous group was too chaotic, and some things have already passed. Let's start over. When she said, some things have already passed, she probably didn't even believe it herself. The new group had a total of 23 members. The remaining dozen or so didn't join. Some were still in the hospital. Some were retaking their exams. Some were dealing with their parents' divorce. And some had completely cut off contact with everyone. Li Mingo didn't join the group. Su Onren said he had gone to work at a factory owned by a relative in Shenzhen and had changed his phone number before leaving. Song Yao didn't join either. Her mother said she needed to rest and didn't want to be disturbed by anyone. Xiao Yang did join the group, but he didn't talk much, occasionally sending a meme as if going through the motions. One evening, he suddenly posted a photo in the group. The photo showed his hand, his right hand. 3 fingers were twisted at unnatural angles. The fingernails a bluish purple with obvious bruises at the knuckles. The bones protruded beneath the skin, resembling a broken, withered branch. Remove the cast today. He typed. The doctor said, recovery is going okay, but I might not be able to lift heavy things anymore. I stared at that photo for a long time. The first stone he threw at me in my previous life was with his right hand. The stone was as big as a fist with sharp edges, and, when it hit my forehead, I felt the whole world shatter into red glass shards. His wrist was strong. After hitting me, he shook it off as if his hand had gone numb. I stared at that twisted hand in the photo for a long time, then saved it. I couldn't say why. Maybe I just felt that some things needed to be remembered. Sue Ainen replied to him in the group. Does it hurt? It doesn't hurt now. It hurt a bit when they removed it. Much better then. When I got hit. What are you doing now? Lying at home. My dad and mom aren't arguing anymore. But they don't talk either. They each cook their own meals. And after eating, they go back to their own rooms. I play games in my room every day until my eyes hurt. Then I go to sleep. The days pass very slowly. He paused for a moment, then sent another message. Sometimes I dream about that ship. It's white, really big, and really beautiful. There's an infinity pool on the deck, and the water is blue. E is standing at the bow wearing a floral dress, her hair blowing in the wind. And then I wake up. I woke up to find myself lying on the floor of that factory, my fingers aching terribly, surrounded by a foul stench. I wondered how that ship ever actually existed. 10 in September. I left the city the night before I left. Sue Honorin sent me a messaging. Do you want to meet before you go? No need. I'm taking the morning train. Okay. You take care. You too. She didn't reply again. I put down my phone and continued packing. The Peking University admission notice was placed in the most prominent spot on my desk. Its red cover with golden lettering. Mom had bought me a new suitcase, dark blue, with spinner wheels, that rolled silently. She sat on the edge of my bed, watching me fold clothes, her eyes slightly red. Once you get to Beijing, make sure to eat well, and don't skimp on money. Got it. It's getting cold. Remember to wear more clothes. Got it. Get along well with your roommates. Got it. The next morning on the train station platform, I dragged my suitcase toward the ticket gate. The sunlight was bright, and people were coming and going on the platform, some crying, some laughing, some hugging each other, unwilling to let go. A female voice from the loudspeaker gently announced the train number. And platform, train G88 is now boarding. I swiped my ID card and walked onto the platform. I glanced back for a moment. The sky in this city is very blue with few clouds. I will never come back. On the day I arrived in Beijing, I received an unexpected message. The person who sent the message was the class monitor, Li Mingo Fanging. Are you in Beijing now? Yes. Congratulations. Thank you. After a long time, he sent a long message. If you had tried to persuade us back then, would things have turned out differently? But you didn't say anything at the time. Sometimes I wonder if you already knew. But I know I have no right to think that way, and no right to blame you. It was our own choice. You know what? Because I missed the college application deadline. I had to repeat the year, but my parents said they don't trust me going back to school, afraid I might do something foolish. Sona went to Guangzhou to work. Her family couldn't afford to let her repeat the year. A few other classmates still haven't come back. No one knows where they went. Lin Lai. He paused for a long time. Her parents sold their house to compensate the victims' families. But it still wasn't enough. She was arrested and is waiting for sentencing. Our graduation trip ended up like this. Funing. Sometimes I have a dream where we actually went to Europe, saw the Aegean Sea, and sunbathed on the deck. When I wake up, my pillow is wet. I don't know why I'm telling you all this. Maybe I just wanted someone to talk to. Don't reply. Just pretend you never saw this. I finished reading. My finger hovered over the screen for a moment. Then I closed the chat window. The scenery outside the window is rapidly receding. Fields, village, cities, and mountains flash by like a movie on fast forward. The high-speed train glides smoothly ahead, with the air conditioning in the carriage set to a cool temperature. The aunt across the aisle is eating instant noodles, and the aroma drifts over. A child is crying diagonally behind while the mother tries to soothe them. Some are on the phone, others are sleeping, and a few are scrolling through short videos. The vibrant pulse of everyday life. On the third day of my freshman winter vacation, I ran into Xiaoyang at the mall downtown. It was the 23rd day of the 12th lunar month, known as Little New Year. The mall was decked out with red lanterns and fortune characters, and the song Gong Shi Fa Kai Wishing You Prosperity was playing everywhere. I had just come out of the bookstore on the third floor, carrying 2 books in my hand, and was about to take the escalator down. And then I saw him. He was working at a milk tea shop on the first floor, wearing a green apron, a mask, and a hat. He was shaking milk tea behind the counter. His movements were smooth and practiced, as if he had been doing it for a long time. I almost didn't recognize him. He had lost a lot of weight, completely different from how he looked in high school. Back then, the sports committee member who used to charge around the basketball court, wearing a loose team uniform, would run with great vigor. Now, he stood behind the counter, his shoulders slightly hunched, his whole body seeming to shrink. His right hand was still wrapped in gauze. As I walked down the escalator, he looked up from behind the counter, and our eyes met. He was stunned. The shaker in my hand almost fell to the ground. I walked down the escalator, hesitated for a second, and then walked toward him. 1 jasmine milk tea. Less sugar. He stared at me for several seconds, his mask shifting slightly, as if he wanted to say something. Then he lowered his head and started making the milk tea. His movements were slow, and his right hand was trembling. He placed the finished milk tea on the counter. 12 yuan. The voice was Horacio. I scanned the code to pay, took the milk tea, and turned to leave. Fonging. I stopped. He stood behind the counter, both hands resting on the surface, head bowed. His hat was pulled down low, making it hard to see his expression that day. His voice trembled. Why didn't you stop us? I turned around and looked at him. He raised his head, his eyes red. You knew it all along, didn't you? You knew there was something wrong with that group. Why didn't you stop us? If you had spoken up, we wouldn't have gone. We wouldn't have ended up like this. I look at him. If I had tried to stop you, would you have listened? You would have just thought I was being a killjoy, ruining the class beauty's plans, and spoiling your fun trip, right? His face turned pale. The part of his face not covered by the mask was as pale as paper. Thonging. You know what? I looked at the gauze wrapped around his right hand. To me, whether you go to Europe or not has nothing to do with me. Whether you live or die, whether you stay on a cruise ship or sleep in a factory, whether you go to college or work, none of it has anything to do with me. I picked up the milk tea and poked the straw in, because every choice each of you made was your own. Lin Louis chose to take the commission. You chose to flatter her, and they chose to follow the trend and sign up. No one forced you at gunpoint. No one owes you a warning. I don't owe you anything. I turned and walked out, fonging. I didn't look back. A sound of something falling came from behind, followed by the crisp crackle of shattering glass. It might be a cocktail shaker, or it could be something else. I pushed open the glass door of the mall, and a gust of cold wind rushed in, carrying the smell of gunpowder from firecrackers. Winter is truly cold, but the milk tea was hot. Epilogue. 4 years later, that winter of my senior year, I went to an industry cocktail party. It was called an industry cocktail party, but it was actually a joint recruitment seminar by several major law firms. They rented a banquet hall in a hotel, set up several buffet tables, invited a bunch of law students to eat, drink, and casually submit resumes. I originally didn't want to go, but my roommate insisted on dragging me along, saying the partners from this law firm were especially impressive. Just meeting them was worth it. I wore a black suit dress, my hair tied up, and a light makeup. I stood in the corner holding a wine glass, bored, and watching the crowd. My roommate tugged at my sleeve, swaying. Look at that woman over there. Do you know her? I followed the direction she was pointing. A woman stood in the corner. She wore a dress that clearly didn't fit, its hem dragging on the floor and smudging a small stain. Her hair was styled in large waves, but it was dry and lifeless, looking like it hadn't been cared for in a long time. Her makeup was heavy, yet it couldn't conceal the fine lines around her eyes or the weariness in her expression. She held a glass of red wine, smiling awkwardly at a middle-aged man. The man said something, then turned and walked away. Her smile froze for a second. Then she forced it back into place and turned to the next person. I recognized her. She had changed so much, but that face, I would never forget. Lui, my roommate, whispered. She was telling everyone just now that she used to be the student council president, organized many large events, and wants to find an administrative position, but she can't even get her resume through. Apparently, the education section says she graduated from high school, and HR just puts it down after glancing at it. I didn't say anything at that moment. Linlu lifted her head and met my gaze. She froze. The wine glass in her hand wobbled, and red wine nearly spilled. Then she recognized me. Her face turned pale for a moment. I looked at her, smiled slightly, and raised the cup in my hand, giving her a slight nod. Her hand holding the wine glass began to tremble. She turned and walked away. Her steps were quick, her high heels clicking on the carpet, nearly causing her to stumble. I watched her disappear through the side door of the banquet hall. "Do you know her?" my roommate asked. "High school classmate." "Ha! How did your high school classmate end up like this? She looks so miserable." "Is that so?" I took a sip of the sparkling water in my glass. Maybe she deserved it. The sky outside was completely dark. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the banquet hall, I could see the city lights twinkling in the distance. On the elevated highway far away, the stream of cars flowed like a river of light, slowly moving forward. The stones from that June finally fell back on her, one by one. Story 2. At the start of my freshman year, my roommate's mother came to the dorm. She pointed at the cosmetics on my desk and said to my roommate, "A girl who only knows how to put on makeup is clearly not a decent person." Later, my roommate apologized and shared the unfortunate circumstances of her family background, even begging me to teach her how to apply makeup. However, after the semester began, my roommate not only stole my clothes and cosmetics, but also frequently skipped classes to date different boys, eventually getting caught red-handed by her mother. My roommate was scared and said I deliberately led her astray. Her mother was furious, cursing me wildly at the school gate, splashing me with feces, and finally pushing me into the middle of the road where I was hit by a truck and sent flying. So in this new life, when my roommate begged for my forgiveness again, I sneered, "Are you even worthy? Sudao, you're the only girl from our village who made it to university. In ancient times, you'd be prime minister material. A girl who only knows how to put on makeup clearly isn't a decent person. Don't hang out with her anymore, or she'll lead you astray." Hearing these words again, I still felt a bit dazed. I should have just finished class and was supposed to meet friends for a hot pot outside the school. But as soon as I stepped out of the school gate, Sue's mother rushed out from a corner holding a bucket of foul-smelling manure and poured it all over me. I was stunned, and before I could react, she quickly pulled stones from a bag and threw them at me. The stones hit my head, and blood trickled down my cheek. "You shameless little __, how dare you lead my daughter astray?" Sue's mother hurled one insult after another, each more vicious than the last. She kept accusing me of ruining her family's future prime minister. The foul stench on her made me nauseous, leaving me no time to think. I had barely taken 2 steps when Sue's mother strode forward again, her eyes filled with malice. "You lowly wretch, you deserve to suffer a bit." Sue's mother let out a furious roar and quickly pushed me toward the road outside the school. At that moment, a large truck happened to come speeding out, yet from beginning to end, Sua just stood by silently shedding tears. Clearly, she was the one who caused all of this. Yet, she still puts on an innocent appearance even now. And in this inexplicable way, I ended my own life. How ridiculous. I looked down at my clothes. There was no foul-smelling manure on them, nor was there any blood from being crushed by a large truck. I have been reborn. Sue's mother was still chattering away at this moment. Every word she uttered was condemning me, saying that a girl who had just entered university brought so many cosmetics to school. Clearly not a decent person. I looked up at Sue's mother before me. She appeared much older than women her age, with more than half of her hair turned white. But, when she scolded, her saliva sprayed all over the floor. and she didn't seem to tire for a long time. The same was true in my previous life. After seeing the cosmetics on my desk, Sue's mother kept cursing and scolding as if I were some kind of indecent person. At that moment, I was just about to argue back. Then I saw Suya looking at me with an almost pleading gaze, and quickly pulled her mother out of the dormitory. I was furious. However, when Sia returned, before I could even speak, she stood in front of me and bowed in apology. She also shared the misfortunes of her family background. Her father had passed away early, and her mother had raised her single-handedly as the only female college student from their village. Sue's mother was immensely proud and hoped her daughter would study diligently in college and continue on to pursue a master's degree. To this end, Sue's mother cut off anyone and anything that might hinder her studies, nearly driving Su Yao to the brink of madness. So, when she saw the cosmetics on my desk, she immediately concluded that I was not a studious person, that I would lead her daughter astray and ruin her hopes, which is why she lashed out so fiercely. Suya was particularly sincere, constantly bowing and apologizing to me on behalf of her mother. At that time, I thought that her parents' mistakes didn't necessarily mean they were her fault. After all, no one can choose their own background or parents. I despised her mother, but I couldn't bring myself to hate Su Yao along with her, especially since she spoke so earnestly, her eyes filled with guilt and remorse. So, although I was unhappy, I ultimately didn't say much. After all, we were going to be in the same dorm for 4 years of college before the dorm assignments. The counselor had already emphasized the importance of getting along. Well, once the dorm was chosen, unless there were major issues, it generally couldn't be changed. So, even if we couldn't become friends, I didn't want to start off on the wrong foot right at the beginning of the semester. However, it turned out I was completely mistaken. Su Yao had been under too much pressure from her mother before. So, after starting college, she didn't study as hard as her mother had expected. Instead, she chose an extreme path that went against it, indulging excessively at first. She just begged me to teach her how to do makeup. Tangsen, after Dad died, Mom controlled everything about me. She said every penny she spent on me was hard-earned money, so I had no right to use it for anything else. Couldn't buy useless things like makeup, and didn't need to learn how to apply it, but I really wanted to try. Later, she started secretly using my makeup, and even wore my clothes when I wasn't in the dorm. After I found out, and threatened to tell the counselor, she cried and knelt on the ground, begging for my forgiveness. I've never worn such beautiful clothes before. My mom says I'm the reason my dad died, and I don't deserve to wear nice things. You come from such a good family, and have so many pretty clothes. I just wanted to try them on. In the end, she started dating different boys, and skipping classes like crazy, even failing most of the monthly exams that were specific to her major. Eventually, her mother found out. SUA was terrified of her mother. So, she pinned all the blame on me. She claimed I forced her to learn how to do makeup, insisted on dressing her in pretty skirts, made her skip classes, and even encouraged her to date shady people. So, in the end, I ended up in that situation. It's quite laughable. So hearing Su Yao apologize again, I just felt utterly disgusted. Tang Xian, you 1TT forgive me. Su Yao seemed not to have expected me to say that. Her eyes were filled with astonishment, tears still glistening on her face, looking pitiful and evoking an urge to protect her. Hu Yan, who had been standing silently by the side, couldn't help but step forward to shield her if Su Yao liked to pull the rug out from under someone. So Hu Yan is a dog-eater with a saintly glow. He looked at me with some displeasure. Although her mother's words were indeed a bit excessive, it has nothing to do with Su Yao. She has already apologized. Is it really necessary for you to speak like that? As my childhood friend, Hu Yan and I have always had a close relationship between our families. We grew up going to school together, so there is some affection between us. It's just that those feelings have never been spoken aloud. In my previous life, Wu Yan often took the moral high ground. Even when Suya was clearly in the wrong, he would always adopt a lecturing tone, urging me to forgive her. When I refused, he would accuse me of being heartless. He even went to my parents, subtly and overtly blaming me, claiming that I bullied my roommate. This infuriated my parents so much that they immediately chased him out with a stick. In the end, he helped Su Yao cheat during an exam. The teacher discovered the outcome, and Su Yao shifted all the blame onto him, cheating on the monthly exam. Uncle Hua, who values face above all else, was so furious upon learning about it that he immediately took him home, insisting on sending him abroad no matter what. In the previous life, Yan was immersed in her tears, constantly accusing me of being heartless, and in the end, he drifted further and further away from me. This time, he still stood in front of Su Yao, accusing me from the moral high ground. I sneered coldly as I stared at Ho Yen in front of me. Her mother cursed me like that, and I choose not to forgive. What the hell does it have to do with you? In my past life, I was quite a gentle and refined young girl. Later, I realized it wasn't very useful, and often got morally manipulated by others. It was better to just let myself go. If you have a grievance, settle it. If you have a grudge, take revenge. Dang Xiang, how can you talk like that? Yin widened his eyes, probably never expecting that one day I would curse at him. Xia ran to my side again, bowing to me repeatedly. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I never expected my mom to say such things to you. At that moment, the dormitory door was still open, and the other two roommates hadn't arrived yet. However, there were many parents and classmates from the class group in the hallway. Su Yao's loud apology quickly drew a crowd of onlookers. If you're feeling uncomfortable or need to vent, you can take it out on me. Even though I've lost my father, I have to take responsibility for my mother's mistakes. I'll accept whatever punishment you give me. I only ask that you forgive me and stop being angry. We still need to be roommates and friends. She always speaks in this tone, deliberately lowering her self-esteem to the ground, even letting it be trampled into the dust by her own hands, desperately begging for others' forgiveness. But this attitude in the eyes of others makes it seem as if I am the one bullying her. I can't be bothered to pay attention to her act. Who wants to be friends with you? Are you out of your mind? In my past life, she caused me so much suffering. If I were foolish enough to be friends with her again, I'm afraid I wouldn't even have a whole corpse left in the end. Standing beside me, Hu Yan looked at me as if I were some kind of heinous criminal. He pointed at me and said, Dang Sen, I initially thought you were just a bit cold-hearted, but I never expected that even though Su Yao has apologized to you repeatedly, you not only refuse to forgive her, but you also have to speak like this. Do you live by the sea? Why do you care so much? Are you addicted to playing the male saint? I fired back directly. Oh no, it should be Holy Father. Yen trembled with anger, his gaze growing increasingly disappointed as he looked at me. Then he turned to Su Yao, hinting at something. Some people just aren't suited to be friends. There's no need for you to keep putting up with it. Su Yao still had tears in her eyes. She still looked pitiful, as if gazing at some savior, and said to Ho Yen, Thank you. Although I've always had a tough life, and don't have many friends, and even though I try so hard, I still can't earn others' forgiveness. I'm still very happy that you're willing to speak up for me. Honestly, I am disgusted. We tore into each other on the very first day of school. So much so that in the following days, Yen deliberately brought suya breakfast in front of me every day just to provoke me. The two of them appeared before me as a pair. If I hadn't experienced death once, I truly liked Ho Yen a lot. When I first started college in my previous life, however, the things he did afterward were simply inhumane. All that naive affection was completely worn away. All that remains is a bone-chilling hatred. I despise Hu Yan's constant self-righteousness, and I hate Su Yao even more for causing my death. Revenge must be taken. But I never expected that. Even after our relationship had completely broken down, she would still put on her innocent act and stand pitifully before me under the watchful eyes of everyone. She kept begging me, Tang Zhen, my family isn't as wealthy as yours. I can't even afford to buy makeup, but I really want to learn. You have so much makeup, and you probably can't use it all up. I'm really envious of you. You're such a kind person, so you must be willing to teach me how to do makeup. Right. In my past life, I was foolish and didn't hold her mother's actions against her. So, when she made this request, I went back to the dorm and spent 10 minutes briefly teaching her how to apply basic makeup, and then I never bothered with it again. This time, are you out of your mind? Your mother insulted me, so harshly, and I never said I would forgive her. Now you come running to me asking me to teach you how to do makeup. How shameless can you be? I insult people by hitting them where it hurts the most. Sujao's expressions shifted repeatedly, even as tears continued to fall. Compared to her earlier humble pleas, there was now a hint of resentment in her gaze as she looked at me as if I hadn't agreed to her request. I feel like I've let her down, playing the moral guilt card like a pro. Are you really unwilling to teach me? You clearly have so much makeup, even if you used it all the way through college. You wouldn't run out. Why can't you help me? I'm clearly in such a pitiful state. Why do you still have to bully me? Su Yao's tears streamed down her face as if I had committed some heinous crime. I was already eating in the cafeteria at the time. Many people were holding their bowls, sitting around me as if watching a spectacle, and constantly whispering. I stood up directly, staring at her coldly. Get this straight. I never owed you anything. Even if I can't finish it, even if I throw it in the trash, I still won't give it to you. A little kindness is appreciated, but too much breeds resentment often. It's the most terrifying thing. Hu Yan, who had just entered the cafeteria, happened to hear my words. He immediately rushed over and shielded Su Yao behind him. Tang Zhen, why are you bullying others again? If you keep this up, I'm going to report you to the counselor. He wore an expression of self-righteousness. Go ahead, go tell the counselor. If you can't get what you want from someone else, you cry, and then you add a wave of moral blackmail. Let's see if I get punished, or if you end up embarrassing yourselves in front of the whole school. Go ahead, and try. There's nothing to worry about. I even spoke extremely loudly just to make sure those gossiping in the cafeteria understood the whole story. Su Yao's face changed color again, and again. The previous timidity and weakness had all faded away at this moment, leaving only jealousy and hatred in the gaze directed at me. I know I come from a poor background, and I lost my father at a very young age. My family has no money, so it's normal for you to look down on me. I just wanted to be friends with you, but you think I'm not worthy. Suzhou, what are you talking about? All of this is clearly Tang Xian's fault. Why are you saying such things about yourself? Wu Yan was utterly heartbroken. He turned to look at Su Yao, who was crying pitifully, and glared at me with intense hostility. If she won't teach you makeup, I'll find someone who will after. Saying that, Hu Yan took out his wallet again this afternoon. I'll take you to buy cosmetics. You don't need to bow your head to anyone. A gentle and kind girl like you deserves to be cherished and protected. Well, Yan, thank you. Su Yao was moved to tears. The two of them locked eyes, and to an outsider, it might have looked like a pair of star-crossed lovers. I quietly watched their little performance. How wonderful! I just want to see what fate awaits these two in this lifetime. The phone was still recording. Su Yao returned to the dormitory. She was carrying several large and small bags, and the logos visible on the bags were all well-known cosmetic brands. Although the Hua family wasn't particularly wealthy, they were quite generous with their only son. Therefore, his monthly allowance was enough to buy several sets of cosmetics. So, Yao spread the cosmetics out on the table, covering it completely, and her two twin roommates came over to take a look. Chang'e smiled and said, Suzhou, you bought so many cosmetics. These brands are all quite expensive. The two roommates had gone out to play at noon, so they didn't know what had happened in the cafeteria during lunchtime. Xiao smiled shyly and quickly waved her hand. These cosmetics were all given to me by friends. If you like them, we can share them. Really? Another roommate, Changer, looked at her with a bit more kindness in her eyes. You're so nice. Su Yao glanced at me. My family background isn't good, and I've never used such nice things before. But since we're all roommates, it's only right to share with each other. After saying this, Sa seemed to realize she had spoken out of turn. She covered her mouth with her hand, then waved at me, her eyes re-eating in an instant. Tang Sai, I didn't mean to put you down. My mother offended you on the first day of school, so it's only natural that you don't like me. It's my fault for wanting you to teach me how to do makeup. Who told me to be born into a poor family? I guess I'm just destined to have a hard life. I really think she chose the wrong major. She should have studied acting instead. The ability to shed tears instantly. It's even more impressive than those actors on TV. So, as soon as she said this, the other two roommates immediately sensed the tension. They exchanged a silent glance, and without a word chose to stay quiet. Sujiao, you keep talking about your family issues all day long. If you're going to degrade yourself, I don't mind. Watching the show, bringing up your family's mess all day long. I counted on my fingers. From the first day of school until now, she's mentioned at least 5 or 6 times a day how bad her family situation is. My ears are already callous from hearing it. Tang Xian, are you angry with me? One just feels sorry for me. But his favorite is still you. Please don't let me cause conflict between you two. Someone like me, who has no one to care for, would truly be at fault if I became an obstacle in your relationship. Su Yao's words were so sincere. It scared me so much that I quickly waved my hands. Oh no, you two are a perfect match. You should be locked together forever. And it would be best if you never re-enter the market without giving her another chance to speak. Not even sparing her a glance. I turned around and took out the dress I would wear tomorrow from the wardrobe. Changing air glanced at my dress. Shin, you have such great taste. This dress really suits you. Wear it tomorrow. Put on some beautiful makeup, and then let's all go out to eat together as a dorm. How about that? Before I could respond, Su Yao started another round of bitter laughter, tugging at her faded shirt, her eyes filled with envy. This dress is so pretty. It must be quite expensive, right? Tang Sen, you come from a well-off family, and your family spoils you. Not like me. I've never worn such a beautiful dress in my life. She knows how to say something that can really get under your skin. Changer fell silent once again. I turned to Su Yao with the dress in hand, a smile in my eyes. It is quite expensive. Su Yao glanced down at her own clothes again. It's really nice. You're the daughter of a wealthy family. Not like me. The best clothes I ever wore growing up were the dresses my mom brought home from relatives during the New Year. Ones they didn't want anymore. I wish I could have a dress as beautiful as yours. After the college entrance exam ends, there are several months before school starts. If you find a part-time job, you could save up a decent amount of money. Just like this dress I'm holding in my hand. I bought it with the money I earned from working after the college entrance exam. Part-time job. I don't know how to do anything, so I probably can't earn much money. Sua shook her head, still looking innocent. I laughed. If you don't make money yourself, are you waiting for someone else to sponsor you? Su Yao seemed to have her thoughts guessed, and after feeling embarrassed and angry, she directly shouted out, Tang Sen, how can you say that to me? I know I'm not doing well, and none of you like me, but there's no need to insult me like this. I was just forced by my mom to only study since I was little, and I really don't know what to do. Why are you bullying me like this? Tears fell one by one. Changyi also chimed in. It's Su Yao. If your family's financial situation isn't good, you could try taking on a part-time job. There are good part-time opportunities near the school or even within the school itself. If you're facing financial difficulties, you could work while studying. There's no need for any special skills. You could help make milk tea at a bubble tea shop or work as a cashier at a nearby supermarket. These are all very simple jobs. I quietly looked at Su Yao in front of me, her innocent little face now showing clear resentment toward me. I pointed to the dress in my arms. Could it be that you want me to give this dress to you? Where did I ever mean that? Sua reached out to wipe away her tears. She often talked about her difficult family background, but she also liked to portray herself as resilient and unyielding. It's just that my mom told me that once I got into college, I had to focus on my studies. I shouldn't worry about anything else. Studying is the most important thing. I have to listen to my mom. So, I can't take on a part-time job, and that's why I have to live frugally. Tang Zhen, you understand me, right? Ha! I drifted past her with the dress in hand, leaving only one sentence behind. Whether you're struggling or not. What does it have to do with me? Someone's defenses have been shattered again. Su Yao isn't joining us for a meal outside the school. She said, you all have strong family backgrounds to support you. Unlike me, who has to study hard to get ahead. The cost of a meal isn't cheap either. So I won't go. The other two roommates didn't try to persuade her further. They were afraid that if they kept trying, They would make her feel like having a meal was a terrible sin. And before I left, I didn't plan to wear the dress I had taken out last night, but instead put it back in the closet. A 4-person dorm, each with their own dedicated wardrobe. Each one came with a lock, though usually no one bothers to lock them since everyone trusts that theft isn't something to worry about in their own dorm. I weighed the lock in my hand, glancing out of the corner of my eye at Su Yao, who was sitting at the desk, reading a book, or so it seemed. That page had been open for over 10 minutes. As if catching my peripheral glance, her hand holding the book trembled, and she quickly turned the page. I withdrew my gaze and glanced at the wardrobe. I then replaced the bag I had intended to carry out, put it back into the wardrobe, and switched to another one, starting over in this life. Now that I've clearly broken ties with her, will she make the same choice as before? I did it on purpose. I didn't lock the wardrobe, because I wanted to see, following the timeline from my previous life, whether Su Yao, with whom I've already had a falling out in this life, would still sneak into my clothes in my previous life. She used the excuse that I had forgiven her, and that everyone in the dorm was good friends. So, even if I reported her to the counselor for swapping and wearing my clothes, there would be no punishment. In fact, after the incident escalated, she shed a few tears, and many people even thought I was making a fuss over nothing in this lifetime, having clearly drawn the line with her. If she still dares to secretly touch my things, then the situation will be completely different. So, when I returned to the dormitory, the first thing I did was open the wardrobe. Good. This time, she didn't steal and wear them. The skirt simply vanished without a trace. Tisk! I chuckled softly, and Chong Er leaned in closer. What's wrong? Suya was still sitting at the desk, reading a book with a notebook placed beside her. Before I left, there were 2 lines written in the notebook. By the time I returned after having breakfast and playing around all morning, half a line had been added. It's really not easy. The dress I was supposed to wear yesterday seems to have disappeared. I pointed to my wardrobe, where the dress was clearly placed in the most visible spot. But now it has indeed vanished. I calmly glanced at the wardrobe. Aside from that dress, nothing else seemed to have been touched. Even the small bag I had changed out of before leaving today was still hanging deep inside the wardrobe with no signs of being moved. Good. How could that be? That dress costs several thousand yuan. You should really look for it carefully. Chong Er leaned over to take a look. Before leaving, she and Chang'e had gone downstairs first, so she hadn't personally seen me put the dress in the wardrobe. But now the skirt has suddenly disappeared. There are 4 people in the dormitory, my twin roommates, and I went out for a meal, leaving only 1 person in the dormitory. So who could have taken the skirt? Changers searched all over the dormitory for me. Seeing Su Yao sitting at the desk, he asked, "Swao, did anyone come to the dorm this morning?" Sha suddenly exploded. What do you mean by that? Tang Xian's skirt is missing. You're asking me in a roundabout way if anyone came in or out of the dorm. Aren't you implying that I stole her skirt? Even though I lost my father at a young age, I'm still a good girl from a decent family. You can't wrong me like this. Su Yao's eyes were brimming with tears, as if she had suffered an immense injustice. She kept pointing at Changer, then at me. I know your family is well off, and you might look down on someone like me, but is it really necessary to throw mud at me like this? Her words came out in a rapid, staccato burst, like a string of firecrackers. Funny, it seems I haven't said a single word up to now. I reached out and swatted away the finger. She was pointing at me. After all, that's just rude. How could someone as privileged as you possibly understand my hardships? I've been bullied by classmates since I was a child, because of what I wore, and now you're all insinuating that I stole the dress. Am I not even allowed to defend myself? Su Yao's crying grew even louder. Rarking felt for a moment that she had truly suspected the wrong person, and quickly apologized several times. It's fine. I don't blame you. It's just my bad luck. I deserve to be suspected. Now that you can believe me, I'm really happy, unlike some people who perhaps never believed in me. When she said the last sentence, her gaze fell on me again. The blatant implication couldn't be more obvious. I sneered. Yes, never believed at all. I believe it. That's an easy way to get a box meal. The next evening, during self-study, I hadn't even stepped into the classroom. when Ho Yen suddenly appeared from the side. Su Yao was standing beside him too, her eyes red, as if she had just been crying. What Yen grabbed my wrist and pulled me to the end of the corridor. Tang Zhen, is this really necessary? Even if that dress of yours cost thousands of yuan, you didn't take good care of it, and it went missing. Was it really necessary to frame someone else? Besides, you've had so many dresses since you were little. Now, just because one got stained, you've come up with all these malicious ideas, and even framed Su Yao. You've truly disappointed me. He scolded me with a barrage of words. Before I could even speak, Su Yao stepped right between me and Ho Yen. She shed a few more pitiful tears. Please don't argue. Because of me, it makes me feel like a sinner. For now, not Su Yao. Disappointed, I quietly watched Toy Yen. In my previous life, I had genuinely liked him, only to later realize that I had fallen for a pile of underscore after the sadness. I felt so disgusted that I couldn't eat for days. Now I've skipped the sadness stage entirely. Hu Yen, are you out of your mind? Or has your brain been flooded? Who do you think you are to be disappointed in me? Hu Yen was taken aback, and the disappointment in his eyes grew even stronger. Dang Sen, how have you become so vicious now? When you were a child, you couldn't bear to step on even an ant. But now you're actually bullying a weak little girl like this. Are you still the kind-hearted Tang Shi? And I knew really I couldn't hold back. I raised my hand and slapped him across the face. Who do you think you are? Standing on your moral high ground all day, criticizing me. What gives you the right? And besides, your opinion means nothing to me. I don't care about your attitude either. Well, Yin widened his eyes, stammering for a long time without saying anything wrong. Haven't you liked me since we were kids? Huh. So, you knew all along holding on to this affection to help another girl bully me? It's a good thing I've given up. Otherwise, it would really be disgusting. Hu Yen, I now find you even more repulsive. Su Yao stepped in front of him, frowning slightly as she looked at me. Tang Zhen Yen is doing this for your own good, to prevent you from becoming a jealous and ruthless girl. I think the way you're speaking is really too harsh, and you should apologize to Ho Yen immediately. It was just the time to prepare for evening self-study. So, there were quite a few people coming, and going in the hallway, she stomped her feet and spoke loudly, drawing many sidelong glances. Su Yao, it's hard on you. You're so kind-hearted, yet you're still willing to stand up for me. What? Yen looked as if he was so moved that he didn't know what to do. I silently rolled my eyes. If you two are itching to put on a show, do you need me to set up a stage for you? One after another, you all keep crowding around me. Dang Sen, you lost your own skirt, and then falsely accused Su Yao. I don't think this is a good behavior, and I believe you must apologize to Su Yao, or I will ask the teacher to help us settle this fairly. Hai Yan's voice suddenly rose sharply. There were already many people standing in the corridor watching the commotion, but, because of his words, many more stopped in their tracks, not even planning to attend evening self-study, just standing there dumbfounded, watching the scene unfold. He really doesn't plan to leave me any face at all. After all, there's still years of friendship between us. It's truly heartbreaking. I reached out and poked him on the shoulder. How old are you? Still running to the teacher for every little thing. This remark seemed to hit the sweet spot for the onlookers' sense of humor. Many people looked at each other, and after a ghostly silence, they burst into laughter one after another. Vian and Su Yao looked very displeased. Fine, then we have nothing more to discuss. The counselor's office. Su Yao sat to the side, sobbing and shedding tears while Hu Yan held a box of tissues. A crowd of onlookers had gathered at the door. What my mother said back then was indeed very hurtful, but I have already apologized to Tang Zhen. I don't know why she would use that dress to slander me. Even though I'm poor, I'm not someone without integrity. Su Yao seemed to have suffered a great injustice. Wei Yan stood beside her, listening to the so-called sequence of events, his eyes growing increasingly filled with distress. Don't worry, the counselor will ensure justice is served for you. The counselor also nodded, asking repeatedly, Sui. Yao remained firm in her insistence that she had not touched my dress. Her eyes so sincere that I was almost convinced since Tang Shina believes I stole her dress. Then go ahead, and search. Sia wiped away her tears and spoke with determination since we needed to find the truth. I first checked the surveillance footage in the hallway. It confirmed that Suya had stayed in the dormitory the entire time after I left and never came out. There was no opportunity for her to take anything out. A crowd had gathered at the dormitory door, and the counselor called over 2 female students to help. We searched the dormitory thoroughly, but my skirt was indeed nowhere to be found. See, if I had stolen the skirt, it would have been found during the search. The surveillance footage also proves I never left this dormitory, so I couldn't have taken it. Perhaps Tang Sheena misplaced it herself, or maybe the wind blew it off the balcony. Su Yao glanced at the classmates watching the commotion at the door and smiled at them. This matter is just a misunderstanding. Tang Xian must have been anxious too. After all, that dress is quite expensive. It could cover my living expenses for several months. Although she falsely accused me, I hope everyone can still treat her as a good classmate for my sake. Xiao even bowed. Her words couldn't have been more sincere. While Yen stepped forward, classmate Tang Xian's dress is missing. Accusing a roommate without any evidence is a very irrational act. Therefore, I demand that Tang Zhen apologize to Su Yao. What if I refuse? I stared at Hu Yen, barely suppressing the urge to beat him up. Tang Sen, you dislike me because of my mother, and that's my fault, too. I sincerely hope to earn your forgiveness and get along well with you. After all, we still have 4 years together. As for the dress incident, I think you must be angry because my mother scolded you. If you're willing, I'll apologize to her on your behalf, but please don't wrongfully accuse me. Okay. Sua bowed to me several times in a row, and the onlookers at the door began chattering and discussing the situation. It's already been proven that she didn't take it. Tang Zhen is being way too aggressive. Exactly. Su Yao has already apologized so sincerely on behalf of her mother. Even if the elder was in the wrong, it has nothing to do with her. Why make things so tense? She falsely accused someone and still has that attitude. So it really makes me want to cry. Even in this situation, she's still thinking of others. I definitely couldn't do that. Almost all the discussions were either blaming me for being unreasonable or praising Su Yao for her kind heart. Changers seem to be unable to stand it any longer. Is this really necessary given the situation? The skirt is in the dorm, so there's a legitimate question. And I was the one who asked it. Tang Zhen hasn't even said anything yet, and you're already acting as if she's committed some terrible crime. Onlooker. No one. But nothing was found in Su Yao's belongings. She was wrongly accused for no reason. And the first thing she did was ask us not to blame Tang Zhen. Yet Tang Zhen is acting like this. It's just too much. Onlooker. No. 2. It's just baseless slander. Now that the evidence is clear, not only is there no apology, but the attitude is still so aggressive. It's obvious she's been bullying Su Yao in the dorm a lot. Changer's eyes reened with anger, as if she still wanted to say something. But I grabbed her arm. I shook my head at her. It's fine. I can handle it. After wiping the tears from the corner of her eyes, Suya thanked the people at the door who had spoken up for her. When I was in the countryside, I was always bullied. Even when I went to school, everyone looked down on me. I never thought that in college, so many people would stand up for me. When I was being bullied, I'm really happy and grateful to have classmates like you. Just as the emotions were at their peak, tears started streaming down again. I really couldn't help but want to applaud her. So much drama all day long. Su Yao, are you sure you didn't touch my dress? Right. As more and more people gather to watch, this farce would likely spread to nearly half the school within a day. The desired effect has been achieved. Now it's time to end this farce. What do you mean? We've already searched. Why are you still accusing Su Yao? The onlookers at the door looked at me with particular dissatisfaction. Ha! Yen also shielded Su Yao. Things have come to this point. What's the harm in just apologizing? I really didn't take your expensive dress. Tang Zhen, you can't wrong me. Su Yao's voice still carried a sob. Even the counselor couldn't help but speak up. We've checked and searched thoroughly. Tang Zhen, you were indeed in the wrong. You should apologize to Su Yao. So, everyone, they all want me to apologize to her. Some have even started secretly taking photos and videos with their phones. Apologize, but I'd rather see her reputation completely ruined. So, under everyone's gaze, I walked to the wardrobe and took out the bag inside. Didn't you want evidence? I pointed at the bag. All right, here you go. I pulled out a phone from the bag and waved it in front of everyone. Su Yao's face turned extremely ugly in that instant. I glanced at my phone, which had already shut down due to a dead battery. I plugged in the charger and slowly turned it on under everyone's gaze. I have a habit. I always like to carry 2 phones with me, and it just so happened that I brought one with me today before going out. This phone was recording a video, but I was so busy that I forgot about it. It seems the video is still recording. I just remembered it now. How about we take a look at the video to see what's been going on lately? You put a phone in the wardrobe. Su Yao's voice trembled slightly as she spoke. Yes. Is there a problem? I smiled back at her, watching the calm confidence on. Her face slowly crumbled, replaced by fear and unease. Everyone wants the truth, right? Then let's take a look together. No. Su Yao seemed to want to say something more, but Hu Yan quickly stepped forward, taking Su Yao's hand. Having a video is even better. Now we can provide evidence for Su Yao. I opened my phone and found the album. Due to the battery level, it only recorded for an hour and a half. Under Su Yao's extremely panicked gaze, I slowly clicked on that video. The phone was placed inside the wardrobe to record, but the view it could capture was very limited. It only showed me placing the phone and leaving, then closing the wardrobe door, leaving only darkness. Shortly after, the wardrobe door opened, and Su Yao's face was captured by the camera. She took out the dress, and then retrieved a pair of scissors from her own drawer, showing off to me. Think I'm not worthy of wearing this dress? Well, you won't get to wear it either. Su Yao's voice had always been gentle as water, but at this moment, it sounded extremely cold. The wardrobe door was only half open, allowing only a side view of Su Yao's face, her eyes gleaming with malice. She then proceeded to cut the dress into pieces with the scissors before leaving the frame. Shortly after, the sound of flushing water could be heard from the bathroom. The truth is clear at a glance. The torn dress was flushed down the squat toilet. That's why no evidence could be found at that moment. The dormitory was so quiet that you could hear a pin drop. Now, who should apologize to whom? Caught off guard, Co suddenly knelt down, tightly clutching my hand as she cried, repeating, "I'm sorry. Over and over. It was me who took your dress, and it was me who cut it to pieces with scissors. I'm sorry." Her admission of guilt came so quickly that many people hadn't even processed what was happening yet. Onlooker no. 1. So we scolded the wrong person. Onlooker no. 2. Awkward. Good thing there's evidence. Otherwise, Tangs, I would have been so wronged. Sujiao, who looks innocent and harmless, is actually this bad. The shift in public opinion happens in an instant. As for the onlookers, they've always been like grass swaying in the wind. Just now they could confidently and harshly criticize me, and now they can just as easily start condemning Su Yao with their so-called sense of justice. Yet they completely forget the harm they have caused with their own words. Much like Hu Yan, they enjoy standing on the moral high ground to criticize others. Yet they completely forget that they are no different from keyboard warriors. It's quite laughable, really. The counselor sighed. Su Yao, why would you do something like this if the matter hadn't been blown up so much? And if Su Yao hadn't firmly claimed that she didn't do it? And if there hadn't been such a high-profile search and review of the surveillance footage? Perhaps, when I present this video, people might still speculate whether Su Yao had extenuating circumstances. But now, Su Yao began to cry bitterly. I'm sorry, I've never seen such a beautiful dress before. Spending thousands of yuan on a single dress. Maybe I'll never be able to do that in my lifetime. But Tang Xian did it so effortlessly. We're the same age. But maybe it's because my family background is too poor. Or maybe I'm just not worthy. Not worthy of wearing such a nice dress. Not good looking. And not likable in personality either. So, I lost my mind for a moment. Every word she spoke was filled with sincerity. And even the previously angry counselor became hesitant because of her words. Even looking at me, she said, she's also a poor child, Stuck with a mother like that. And no father. She probably hasn't seen many nice things. So just forgive her this once. The onlookers were also swayed. They all say her family background isn't good. Maybe she's never seen such a nice dress before. Exactly. Tang Zhen has so many dresses. What would it matter to give her one? Hey! Don't talk about the poor girl anymore. Tang Zhen, even though she was in the wrong this time. You're so wealthy. Giving away one dress surely isn't a big deal. Don't make a fuss about it. Forgive her this once. The onlookers have once again started expressing pity and sympathy, even urging me to forgive. Forgive on what grounds? Just because someone comes from a poor family, does that give them the right to do whatever they want? Just because I have many skirts and others don't, does that mean I should give one away? Just because I have money, does that mean I can't hold others accountable when they bully me? Just because the other person's family is struggling while mine is happy and well off, does that mean I have to forgive even when I've been wronged? My gaze swept over everyone one by one. You're really hilarious. I knew Su Yao's magic from the very beginning. It was the same in my previous life. She constantly used her family background to paint a picture of a tragic life, making many people feel sorry for her. As a result, even when she failed exams later on, the teachers couldn't bring themselves to scold her. But why should I? Just because she's had a tragic fate, she gets to step on my bones and enjoy preferential treatment everywhere. I don't owe her anything. Every penny I spent before I turned 18 was hard-earned by my parents. Every penny I spent after the college entrance exam was money I earned myself by working during the holidays. I have always had a clear conscience. I will absolutely never forgive. Hu Yan, the big fool, compensated me for the dress on behalf of Su Yao. Su Yao made a mistake in a moment of weakness, but she's also quite pitiful. After all, we are classmates, so there's no need to be so harsh. I'll compensate you for the dress on her behalf, and from now on, you can still be good roommates. The money I deserve, I'll take, but I wouldn't dare to be roommates with someone like this. What if something else goes missing later if I hadn't been so alert and found the evidence in advance? I'm afraid I'd be the one being condemned by everyone now. The onlookers all said she was pitiful. Since you all think she's pitiful, then let her be your roommate. How about that? The counselor also nodded. If any of you want to share a dorm with Su Yao, you can let me know. I glanced at the onlookers at the door. The group that had been urging me to forgive her earlier suddenly looked at each other, and then all fell silent. Some whispered, others silently shook their heads. If she can steal a skirt today, who's to say she won't take my jewelry tomorrow? Although her situation is quite pitiful, my money didn't just fall from the sky. If we end up living in the same dorm, and I find something missing, I definitely suspect her that would surely strain our dorm relationships. So, it's better not to exactly. The wind direction changed again in that instant. It was only because they were previously standing from the perspective of onlookers that these bystanders could generously advise others to be tolerant and magnanimous, but now it has become related to themselves. The first thing that comes to mind is always one's own interests. I glanced at Su Yao's face, which had turned extremely unpleasant. See, this is human nature. No matter what you say, I still believe in Su Yao. She is so gentle and kind, and she has sincerely apologized now. Why can't you forgive her? Hu Yan glanced at the crowd at the door. Now they're not only starting to condemn me, but also other classmates. Onlooker no. 1. What do you mean by that? Onlooker no. 2. We're just discussing the matter as it is. Who knows if she'll do something similar again in the future? If I were her roommate, and my things went missing, who would I turn to? Yu All Yen was trembling with anger, and Su Yao kept wiping away tears that wouldn't stop flowing. She used to be quite popular in the class, but after what happened today, everyone will know she's two-faced. How she pretended to be innocent like a little white rabbit, yet was secretly malicious and vicious. Being bad isn't scary. What's truly frightening is when someone smiles at you while stabbing you in the back. Tang Zhen, you've driven me to this point. Are you happy now? This was the first time Sue didn't deliberately hide her true self in front of everyone. Her gaze toward me was filled with undisguised hatred. Wasn't all of this your own choice? From the very beginning, You used your family background to constantly seek sympathy from others. It seemed like you were speaking up for me, but in reality, you were just telling everyone that I wasn't good enough to you. If I didn't have evidence today, I would have been ruined by you. Now, you're just reaping what you've sown. What right do you have to shout at me like this? Did I do something wrong? Was it because we locked the wardrobe that gave her the opportunity? Or should I not have secretly placed a phone in the wardrobe to record a video? Ridiculous. I was wrong to cut up your clothes and throw them down the drain, but you left a phone with the camera on in the dorm. What exactly were you hoping to capture? Su Yao began to question through her tears as if she had uncovered something significant, and she covered her chest with her hands. I've heard about a type of bullying at school where people take nude photos of their roommates to use as blackmail or even sell them for money. Tang Sen, is that how you got so much money to buy dresses? Many fell silent, their eyes fixed intently on me. Ridiculous. Trying to throw mud at me with just one sentence. I pointed at the wardrobe. If the door is tightly shut, nothing can be seen. I accidentally left my phone inside, and if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have been able to prove my innocence. If no one had opened the wardrobe with that kind of intention and taken my clothes, nothing should have been captured, right? Besides, if you think I did something like this, you can present evidence or even call the police. I'll cooperate fully. If you have the ability, then show the evidence. But can you produce it? Making baseless accusations. You did it just 3 minutes ago, and I produced the video as evidence to thoroughly refute you. Now you want to try it again. But now there are very few people who believe it. Suya was left speechless by my pressure, only able to bite her lip tightly. No matter what you say, I still believe Su Yao made an honest mistake. W. Yen firmly took her hand, arrogantly positioning himself on the moral high ground, and began to judge everyone. If you're so heartless, don't blame society for being too cold. When something happens to you one day, I couldn't help but laugh at those words. Yen Su Yao, I'm giving these words back to you exactly as they were said. When the time comes, don't blame society for being too cold-hearted. After all, everything that follows is your own choice. Su Yao and Hu Yan are together as expected. Even when this matter reached my ears, I celebrated by downing a large bottle of cola. This type of man and woman should be locked together and never allowed into the market to harm others. The two of them, intentionally or unintentionally, flaunted in front of me. Their daily lives were still visible on each other's social media feeds. So every morning, when I opened my phone and scrolled through my feed, it felt like reviewing official documents. You will definitely see all the little daily moments when the two of them spend time together every night. It must be tough for them, too. The school is just that small, and they've explored every nook and cranny, not even afraid of running into any snakes, insects, or mosquitoes. The two of them have been in a relationship for a month, slightly different from his previous life. In this life, Wu Yan was completely focused on romance. So, when the monthly exams arrived, he could only cram at the last minute. In his past life, he had at least taken his studies seriously, so Su Yao had considered asking him to help cheat by passing answers. This time, there was no incident of being caught cheating, because both of them failed the exams. Well, completely failed. On the night the results came out, the entire classroom was filled with chatter. I silently gave 2 people a thumbs up. Becoming the first couple in history to fail both subjects is quite impressive. Su Yao clenched her teeth tightly, her eyes filled with intense resentment. She looked as if she wanted to devour me whole, as though I were the reason she didn't do well on the exam. Ridiculous. Don't get too cocky. This was just a fluke. Next time I'll definitely be the top student in the grade. Before the evening self-study session ended, Sia walked over to me in a voice only the two of us could hear. She said these words to me. Yo, coming to challenge me. Let's wait and see who's afraid of whom. Tang Sen, I know you're very angry. I stole the person you like, and now you probably want to kill me. Right? You think you're so high and mighty, but the person you've liked for so many years ended up falling for me. Didn't they? If you're sick, you need to get treatment. What era is this? And you're still playing the game of female rivalry. Su Yao stared at me intently, and Hu Yan also stepped out. The two of them held hands tightly, deliberately standing right in front of me. She spoke up. I know you had feelings for each other before, but now, I'm sorry. Su Yao's smile was radiant, as if she had snatched something extremely important from me, something worth flaunting with immense pride. Trash belongs in the trash can. A perfect match. You. Sua was left speechless. Don Titi argue with her. Someone as cold-hearted as her is simply no match for you. Even though we didn't do well this time. We'll work harder next time. Let me take you to eat first. We'll have a proper feast. Yin completely ignored me, taking Su Yao's hand and walking straight out. I watched the two of them walk away. I wonder if the two of them will be able to enjoy this lavish meal properly. With so many subjects failed, it's time for someone to make an appearance. I reached out and gently touched the spot over my heart, feeling it beat much faster than before. Closing my eyes, all I could think of were scenes of blood and flesh flying everywhere, and the hatred was overwhelming. Just as expected in her previous life, Su Yao had also failed her exams, but at least she managed to hide it for a while. In this life, however, Xiao spent all her time thinking about how to step on me, believing that stealing the man I supposedly liked would make her superior to me. So, the two of them spent all their time in a romantic relationship. Her mother never actually returned to the countryside. Instead, she took a job near the school, wanting to keep a close watch on her daughter, whom she considered a so-called seed of a prime minister. Failed all subjects, and most of my attention was focused on dating. So by the time Su Yao realized it, it was already too late. 3 to 5 days earlier than expected. On the evening, the results came out. As soon as I walked out of the school gate, I noticed a large crowd gathered outside as if watching some spectacle. I moved closer to take a look. I saw Su's mother striking with both hands, her right hand slapping Su Yao more than a dozen times fiercely, while her left hand tightly gripped Hu Yan's hair, pinching both sides firmly. At first, I was worried that Tang Zhen, the one in your dorm who loves to wear makeup, would lead you astray. I never expected she would end up scoring first place while you spend all day thinking about dating. How dare you let me down like this? All these years, I've endured so much hardship just to get you into university. And this is how you repay me. Last place. Not a single subject passed. You used to be a promising talent, but now look at you. Where am I supposed to put my face? Deep down, Su Yao was terrified of her mother. Forced to the ground, she wept uncontrollably. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'll work hard from now on. It's all because of Tang Zhen. She's the one who led me astray, who deliberately taught me how to put on makeup and encouraged me to date. Mom, please believe me one more time. Okay, believe it. Not a chance. I had already sent the recording from the cafeteria to Su's mother, along with my report card showing I'm ranked first in the grade. I'm the one who led her astray. You must understand that there are always some parents who consistently believe that their children should only associate with those who excel academically, as this will help with their studies. Therefore, regardless of character, as long as the grades are good, that child is considered the best in the world. Just like at this moment, Su's mother slapped her heart again. Believe you, not only did you fail to get first place, you even ended up last. And you're dating the boy who came in last too. I think you've been led astray by him. I won't allow you to keep seeing each other. If you don't break up with him from now on, don't call me Mom. Hu Yan, who was being pinned down and beaten, gradually snapped out of his initial shock. Liking the girl was one thing, but being pinned to the ground and beaten by her mother in front of everyone. How could Hu Yan, who cared so much about his pride, possibly endure it? So, while this mother and daughter were talking, Hu Yan suddenly charged forward. Su Jiao and I are truly in love. This exam was just an accident. Next time we'll definitely get good grades. Su's mother was caught off guard and fell to the ground. Ouch! My old back. Su's mother slowly stood up from the ground while holding her waist. She pointed at Hu Yan, her eyes filled with hatred. You look decent enough, but you actually dare to pester my daughter. Did you do something to her? You two couldn't have already slept together. Could you? Oh my God, my daughter is a future prime minister seedling, and you dare to do such a thing to her? I won't let you off. The scene was in complete chaos. I stood quietly among the crowd watching, feeling the same way I did in my previous life, when Su's mother hit me with Hu Yen, and Su Yao standing by the side, just watching coldly, watching the people in front of me fight each other. This is what you might call the wheel of fortune turning. In the end, it was unclear who exactly made the move. The school gate was right by a main road, and in the confusion among the three of them, someone bumped into someone else. Su's mother stumbled and fell directly toward the road. The gears of fate had turned back. That familiar yet unfamiliar large truck arrived once again. Mom! Su Yao stood in place, screaming, even though she was terrified of his mother. She never imagined that one day she would die right before her eyes. It was you. You pushed my mom. I'm going to kill you. Su Yao directly reached out to pinch Hu Yen. No, I didn't mean to just. Now. Su Yao, you have to believe me. Yen tried to reason with her, but it was completely useless. Finally, he turned his gaze to the group of onlookers. Why didn't you help break up the fight earlier? If you had helped break it up, I wouldn't have accidentally pushed her away. Once again, standing on the moral high ground to condemn others, but then condemning so many people at once. How could that possibly be achieved? So many onlookers who originally intended to step in and break up the fight instantly took a big step back upon hearing Ho Yan's words. You two love birds or just play fighting. What do you expect us to do to help? Exactly. You accidentally pushed someone out, and now you're blaming us instead. How can you have the nerve? Discontented voices quietly erupted among the crowd, with everyone condemning Hu Yen. The bullet fired with the wind, ultimately after the cycle of cause. An effect struck right between his own eyebrows. When seemed too impatient, and accidentally gave Su Yao a push. There is a very high step at the school gate, and Su Yao fell from the side of the step, hitting her head directly on the ground. Blood was dripping. Sua became disabled from the fall. She had to spend the rest of her life in a wheelchair, no longer having any family. And now this has happened. School is no longer an option. Medical expenses are unaffordable, and the light of tomorrow is already out of sight. As for Hu Yen, causing someone's death and disability by accident, even if it was unintentional, he'll probably be sewing for the rest of his life. As for the death of Su's mother, unexpected, yet not entirely surprising. Such an extremely stubborn woman, even if I don't scheme against her, will eventually end up harming herself one day. It's karma. I went to see Su Yao. As soon as she saw me, she started screaming frantically, saying that I was the one who harmed her. Tang Zhen, all of this is because if you had been willing to forgive me and be friends with me back then, I could have naturally asked you to teach me how to do makeup, and then you would have secretly worn my clothes. And after I found out, you would have begged me, saying we're friends, asking me to forgive you again, and then you would have kept using me, waiting for the day your mom finds out, and then you'd push all the blame onto me with your mom's temper. She'd probably want to fight me. You use me, and then make me take the fall for you and is that the plan? I finished the rest of what she was going to say for her. You. How did you know? Su Yao's face showed a look of astonishment. Perhaps because she had never imagined that such thoughts of hers would be discovered by others. I gave her a light smile. Because I have been reborn to come back and claim your life. A vengeful ghost. Fear seeped from her eyes. Later, in a remote small mountain village in the southwest, there was an additional female madwoman sitting in a wheelchair. She sat at the village entrance every day, muttering incessantly, I am Tang Zhen. My parents are very wealthy. I could have lived a very good life. They will come to pick me up soon. My good days are about to come. The end.